Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America, welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. Let's kick off this episode with a discussion about an uncomfortable universal truth. We're all liars.
How dare you?
I mean, you, me, everybody, regardless of race, sex, color, creed, religion, orientation. We've all done it. I mean, if you really look at yourself in the mirror, you know you've done it.
Come on, you do it. You know you do it. We all do it. We love to do it. You do it.
No, I don't.
You want to do it. I do it. I love to do it. I just did it and I'm ready to do it again. Don't tell me you don't do it.
It could be one of those little white lies to spare someone's feelings. It could be something bigger, maybe to get out of school, the dog ate your homework, trying to get a day off of work to go to the beach and pretending you're sick. It's all just a matter of degree, really. Most of us, we tend to do the little lies, but then there are some of us out there, especially in politics, who lie a lot bigger. Like, let's say your entire identity and orientation and holding on to that lie for years, like Elizabeth Warren. In fact, she made the cover of Snooks, Crooks, Liars, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. She's the one with the feather in her head, dressed like an Indian. You recall that whole story that has been so pervasive for so many years about her supposed Native American heritage that was told to her by her Meemaw. It turned out to be like 1,028th part Cherokee or something like that. You get the idea. Well, Elizabeth Warren is back in the news for a more recent lie that she and many other Democrats perpetrated in 2024. The lies are catching up to Elizabeth Warren once again as she was confronted on a podcast about Joe Biden and that feeble mind and feeble body that we talked about all through last year. And to be honest, it's pretty freaking funny. We're going to show you what exactly she lied about, her reaction to being pressed on this point about Joe Biden and the support for Democrats all throughout his presidency. And we're going to show you what she was saying back during the election cycle as well, to really give you the impact and significance of this lie. But before we get to all that and all the fun, and it is going to be fun, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on the channel, smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really good stuff, because all that's going to help us grow via the YouTube algorithm. And that is not a lie.
What? Feed me! Okay.
As always, gang, thank you so much for all that you do to help grow the channel. I appreciate all those efforts, regardless of whether you're watching on YouTube, on Rumble, on X, catching us live, catching us on replay. I appreciate all those efforts. And for all you newbies out there who may have found the channel for the first time, let's have some fun together, and I hope that having that fun earns a subscription as we look at this clip from the Talk Easy podcast involving Elizabeth Warren getting caught in the big whopper lie that Democrats were all saying, that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack, thinking on his feet, and as we all know now, or as most of us knew back then as well, it was all a bunch of malarkey. Before we start, just a quick reminder to everybody that tonight, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Russ Galloway, we're going back behind enemy lines. We're going to check out the news of the week. We're going to maybe talk about this Elizabeth Warren clip. We're going to be talking about all these Democrats going to El Salvador for the furthest traveled virtue signal of all time. And I'm sure there's going to be other news cropping up during the day that we'll touch on as well. Remember, that's tonight, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, behind enemy lines.
This guy is a grifter.
Let me start with this clip from the Talk Easy podcast.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
And while we wait for Elizabeth Warren's answer, let's remind you about what she was saying up until July of last year.
Flashback. One of the benefits of President Biden being the president is that we don't have to argue about whether or not he can drive. We don't have to fight with him over the driver's license. No one has to go let me drive home. This is, if I saw him driving, I'd call the cops.
Now, look, I know you want to have fun here, but I just got to tell you this. I talked to the man,
Okay.
and the man is sharp. The man knows what he's talking about. He does the job. I think people ask about age. They've got every right. Look, voters can ask about anything they want. They can make any decisions based on anything they want. That's the deal. It's a sharpness and a pointedness about what he is trying to accomplish. And to me, I get it. It's like messaging. You can have other issues you want to look at, but the heart of it is, what does he deliver? And he is delivering. He's delivering for young people. He's delivering for people who are trying to build a future. And he's doing it in a real and tangible way. And I think that matters. And that's why I'll get out there and fight for him.
End of flashback.
And here we are after the election, and let's see what Elizabeth Warren has to say.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
Did everybody catch that? Let's do an instant replay real quick.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
She's stifling laughter because the host of the Talk Easy podcast, Sam Fragoso, he's got her cornered with just 2 questions. You know, Elizabeth Warren likes to think that she's the smartest person in the room all the time. He got her. He got her really well. Shout out to Sam. The entire interview is linked in the description down below.
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't.
Stop lying!
Sam ain't buying it, and neither should you, because you have eyes, you have ears, you can observe people, you have experience with human nature in your own life. You can tell when someone's got a feeble mind or a feeble body just by looking at them. But Elizabeth Warren and the Democratic Party, as we talked about ad nauseum during the 2024 election cycle, they were propping up the weekend at Bernie's president. And they did so until they didn't have to anymore. And now, after the election, we're seeing all these books come out from staffers, these tell-alls about Joe Biden. And you're seeing all the Democrats saying, yep, you got us. We were lying to you the whole time to win an election. That's really what this was all about. This was always about maintaining power, their own power. It was never about getting Joe Biden elected. It was about holding on to the branches of government so they can pass their agenda.
At that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, you got me.
Yeah, fair enough now that the cat's out of the bag. Fair enough now that the election was lost and there's nothing they can do about it. Fair enough after the fact. But during the whole time, Democrats like Warren were gaslighting you. They were telling you not to believe your eyes, not to believe your ears, not to believe your observations. Believe them instead. Believe their narrative that Joe Biden is just fine. Sharp as a tack, speaks in complete sentences. That's all we really need out of him anyway, right? This is the type of things that lead to what we're seeing now. Crises of confidence on the Democrat side. Now, when we come back from the break, Elizabeth Warren is going to try to wriggle her way out of this. But as you'll see, Sam Fragoso is not yet done calling her out. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show.
Look, the question is, what are we going to do now?
Okay.
And what we're going to do now is we got 47 of us in the Senate. And we are pulling ourselves together
Mm-hmm.
because it increases our power. We don't have as much power as we want, but we don't have no power.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is, exactly like we were just talking about. It's always been about power. Elizabeth Warren, she's letting the mask slip fully off now in an attempt to memory hole all the lies that happened in 2024 about Joe Biden and his feeble mind and his feeble body, all the lies she told about him being sharp as a tack and being able to speak coherently and doing a good job. It's not about that anymore. It's about what we can do going forward with the power that we have. And voters are starting to see this, in my opinion. That's why the Democrat Party's polling is near all-time lows. That's why there is no trust in the Democrat Party. That's why fringe elements are trying to take over the Democrat Party, because they are seizing on this opportunity that the past lies about Joe Biden, among other things, has led to this crisis of voter confidence. I'm sure Sam Fragoso here is going to call her out on that as well.
And we got to use all of our tools in the toolbox to do as much as we humanly possibly can.
Mm.
This is now for all the marbles, Sam. And I get it.
Now it's all the marbles? Wasn't it all the marbles in 2016? Same thing in 2020? Same thing in 2024?
It never ends.
Go
the
back.
Last time was for all the marbles, I thought.
I get it.
In 2020, it was the soul of the nation.
I understand.
How many times is it going to be for all the marbles? Can we just have a normal election?
I'd love that.
How many marbles are there?
When will this nightmare end?
There's quite a bit of marbles, apparently. Every time is for all the marbles. Every time. Because that's what people who crave power want you to believe. They want you to believe that this time it's for real. Until the next time, when it's really for real. Or the time after that, when it's really, really for real.
Wait, for real?
For real, for real.
Sam Fragoso, to me, is a representation of new thought coming to the electorate, coming to voters out there that are no longer fooled by the over a decade of everybody screaming like their hair is on fire, like the sky is falling, that we must act now in order to save democracy or to stop dictatorship or Orange Man bad. Everybody's hair being on fire means that nobody's hair is really on fire. And the fact that Elizabeth Warren and other Democrats have been caught in such outrageous lies and gaslighting the people, it shows that the story of the boy that cried wolf is real. Democrats and Elizabeth Warren are learning they can only go back to the well of desperation so many times. Every single election can't be the most important election of our lifetime over and over and over again. Sooner or later, voters will get desensitized to that message, especially when you've lied about it in the past. That's what happens with liars. You lose credibility, and credibility is everything when it comes to politics. Credibility is the currency, because if you don't have credibility, you don't get back to office 9 times out of 10. If you don't have credibility, you can't get things done 9 times out of 10. Personal credibility, political capital, is the currency of the nation. There is no doubt about that. And Democrats are learning the hard way that when you lie to the American people over and over again, when you gaslight them over and over again, especially with whoppers like what Elizabeth Warren has been doing her whole career, sooner or later it all catches up to you in the end. And Democrats are now getting through the find out period of that particular kind of fucking around. But hey, that's just my opinion on this whole situation. I want to know what you guys think about Elizabeth Warren and more generally, what you think about Democrat gaslighting about the most important election of our lifetime, or this is the moment, and all that stuff that we've heard for, 3 election cycles now. Let's get into those comments together to discuss that. And as always, like and share this video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the shows. Are you with me on this, that Democrats are now reaping what they've sown in gaslighting the voting population? I want to know what you think about this video. and all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.